looks like the Red Sox have one more trick up their sleeve. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Sea Radio. My name is Corbin. On the eve of opening day, the Boston Red Sox made one more move just to try and help bolster this pitching staff a little bit more. Just a couple of hours ago, it was announced that they are going to be making a deal with the Tampa Bay Rays, sending over a right-handed pitcher. Now, I'm just going to let you know right off the bat, it's not like they're trading for McClanahan or Taj Bradley or anything crazy like that. It's going to be more of a minor deal than that, but I will say this is a bit of an intriguing move. So what we're going to do in today's video is we're going to break this down. We're going to talk about what the trade is, who we're getting, what their role could look like, and how it's going to impact the 2024 Red Sox. But before we get into that, we are going to be live celebrating opening day tomorrow night at the start of game time, which will be 10:10. So we'll go live at 10 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. We're going to be watching the game together, previewing the season, and because we hit a massive milestone on this channel of 10,000 subscribers, we're going to be doing a little giveaways and stuff like that as well. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss this. It's always a big party at the beginning of the year. Again, that is tomorrow night, Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern time on this channel. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. Okay, so like I said, this trade went down just a couple of hours ago. It was fully announced on Twitter by Jeff Passan, where he announced that the Red Sox had made a trade with the Tampa Bay Rays in order to acquire right-handed pitcher Naoyuki Uwasawa. It later came out that Uwasawa was traded to the Red Sox for just simply cash considerations. And I know what you're thinking. You're saying, Corbin, why are you making a video about someone the Red Sox got for cash considerations? It doesn't seem like that's anything to make a video about. To be honest with you, I'm just flat out addicted to talking about the Boston Red Sox, but more importantly for you guys, it's because I genuinely think this is a bit of an intriguing move by the Sox. Uwasawa is a rookie in Major League Baseball this year, but he does have quite a bit of experience pitching in professional baseball because he spent 9 years in the NPB before that. In that time span, he was actually really solid. In those 9 seasons, he had a 3.19 ERA in over 1,000 innings pitched with a whip of 1.181. He's not a huge strikeout guy with a 7.3 strikeouts per 9 innings, but he did have a decent walk rate at 2.89. He did, however, give up quite a few hits, though, through his career, averaging about 7.8 hits per 9 innings. It's a lot of contact, and that's sort of who Uwasawa is, right? He's not a huge strikeout guy. He's not exactly a flamethrower. He's a pitch-to-contact type player that utilizes his arsenal, his ability to locate his arsenal to get weak contact in and outside of the zone. And speaking of his arsenal, it starts with a fastball that sits around 90 miles an hour. What's interesting about this fastball, though, is that despite him not getting a ton of swing and miss overall in Japan, like we just talked about, his vertical movement was about 19 inches on this fastball, and his spin rate was 2,650 RPMs, which would have been in the top 5-10% per league. It seems like a lot of his weak contact came because of the movement on his fastball. After that, the second most used pitch here is a curveball that isn't so much a swing and miss curveball as it is just a pitch to throw hitters off balance once in a while, but scouts do like the shape of it and believe with a little bit of tinkering and adjusting, it could be more of a swing and miss option. It's something he's very comfortable with, throwing both in and outside of the zone, and he can locate it pretty well. Then you've got a slider, almost a slurve-like pitch. It's a little bit of a mix of both. Scouts don't really love it. It tends to lose velocity at points and can sit in the middle of the zone in certain areas and kind of get crushed once in a while. Same thing with his cutter that he also tends to avoid using. If he needs to use it against tough lefties or something like that, he will. But in Japan, he did have a bit of a tendency to let that leak over the plate, and once in a while he would get burned on it. The fifth pitch in his arsenal, however, is his second best pitch, and that is his splitter. His splitter is considered his best overall put-out pitch. In the NPB, hitters had just a 490 OPS against it, which would have been well below league average in Major League Baseball, making it a pretty dominant pitch. It gets a whole lot of swing and miss, and when hitters do make contact with it, at least in Japanese baseball, it tended to be really weak contact. Like I said, he's never going to be a flamethrower, strikeout machine type pitcher, but like I said, he can mix his pitches pretty well in Japan, and he was able to locate all of his pitches in the zone for the most part, and that helped him become a really solid rotational rotational option. He was never the ace, he was never the all-star, but he was always a really solid number 3. And to me, why this is so intriguing is because with a little bit of work, some of these pitches could be really, really impressive. Like I mentioned, that curveball has a lot of movement. He just doesn't tend to use it as a strikeout pitch. With a little bit of adjusting, that could be more of a put-out pitch. Combine that with his fastball that has a lot of movement to it, his splitter, and you add in a curveball. Now you got a nice little 3-pitch mix that you can get swing and misses off of, and this is one of the reasons I find him really intriguing. Now, in terms of how he's looked so far in Major League Baseball, things haven't exactly gone according to plan. He finished spring training with a 13.03 ERA in 9 2/3 innings with an 870 FIP and a really high 7.5 walks per nine, but at least he did have this around the same K per nine as he had in Japan, actually a little bit higher at 8.38. Not exactly exciting statistics out the gate, but in all fairness to Uwasawa, was the first 9 innings he's ever thrown in Major League Baseball. Yes, it's still spring training, but this is an adjustment he's going to have to make. It's an entirely new baseball, and for someone who relies heavily on movement and location, that could be a bit of a big adjustment, right? The ball size is going to change your grip, which is going to change your movement, which is going to change your location, right? It's a little bit of a chain reaction, and he's got to break that chain reaction to get himself more accustomed to Major League Baseball. So yes, his spring training statistics are going to make a lot of people go, why the hell did we pick up this guy? But there is some context and storyline here behind it, and on top of that, it's less than 10 innings pitched in the sport, so I wouldn't look too much into his spring training stats. What I would be cautious about is the pitching factory that is the Tampa Bay Rays weren't confident enough in his ability to start at the major league level where they optioned him down to minor league to begin the year. That's where I would say maybe there's something here that really needs to be worked on before he's ready to go, just because of the pedigree the Tampa Bay Rays have at pulling the best out of pitchers. So that's what I would focus on, not so much his spring training statistics. Either way, despite this bit of sort of mystery over what Uwasawa could be, I'm still a bit intrigued, and I'll tell you why. It's because there is virtually no risk in this trade, right? The Red Sox just gave up cash. At the end of the day, you really aren't losing anything of future value. I guess the Red Sox, maybe John Henry is, right? Because he's been counting his pennies really closely lately, but outside of him, no one else on the Boston Red Sox really losing value on this trade. If Uwasawa comes over here and they're able to figure out how to get him to perform in Major League Baseball, well, then you got yourself a pretty solid workhorse type pitcher. I wouldn't say a ceiling of a number 3 or even a number 2 or anything crazy like that, but as a 4 or 5 as a depth option for the Boston Red Sox. And I think that could actually end up being pretty important, right? Because you look at it and you say, what was the biggest problem with the Red Sox this offseason? Well, they didn't get star power in the rotation, which was definitely the biggest problem, but outside of that, this rotation has zero margin for error. And it's because they don't have any depth. Their depth piece is Cooper Criswell, and then that's about it, right? If anyone else goes down in this rotation, you're a little bit screwed. Well, now maybe you won't be. Uwasawa is probably going to start the year in the minor league, so he's not going to have that pressure of needing to be a major league pitcher out the gate. The Red Sox are trying to fundamentally change the way they evolve pitching in their system with the hiring of different people throughout this system. Justin Willard, Andrew Bailey at the major league level, Craig Breslow overseeing all of it. Maybe this is somebody that they can take in and say, hey, look, this is what you're doing wrong in terms of your grip or in terms of your adjustment that you are making to Major League Baseball, and here's how we can help you get there. If they could do that, well, great. Now they've got a plan E or F, which they just didn't have before, and I think to me, that's why this trade is so intriguing. So overall, when we're looking at this, like I said, it's not exactly a groundbreaking deal. We're not going to be sitting here 4 years from now and being like, I cannot believe the Red Sox got this guy for basically nothing, but I do think there is some positives here. Again, he's probably not going to start the year on the major league roster. He is probably going to be added to the 40-man roster. My guess is that he's added to the AAA Worcester affiliate. There is a slight chance that with Chris Murphy most likely going on the 60-day IL and with Josh Winkowski battling through injuries, that he does maybe find his way into the 26-man roster, but I don't think that's super likely. I think what's most likely is that minor league start, because I just think the Red Sox are taking basically a flyer out on him, right? Again, if it doesn't work out, the Red Sox lose virtually nothing. And honestly, that's what I like most about this trade. So best case scenario here when we're looking at everything overall is that Uwasawa turns into a really decent depth piece for the Boston Red Sox, a guy they can call on to either be a multi-inning guy out of the bullpen or a spot starter here or there. Absolute best case scenario, you get someone who's a bit of a workhorse in the back half of your rotation. Worst case scenario here, you don't remember his name and this is the last time you hear about it after this video, and I don't think that's really a bad place for the Sox to be. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Did you like this move? Do you not like this move? What do you think about Uwasawa? What do you think he could be? Why do you think the Red Sox got him? Let me know all your thoughts about the Red Sox latest trade in the comment section down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Helps these videos out a ton and it would mean a lot to me. Don't forget, live tomorrow night on this channel, celebrating, watching, talking about, and giving away stuff on opening day, 10 p.m. Eastern time on this channel. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the red seats.